All right, let's bring in Rob Shaw now to talk a bit about a new proposal being put forward regarding the U.S. tariffs by BC Conservative Party leader John Rustad. Rob, what can you tell us?
Well, BC Conservative leader Rustad today making a pitch to hit the Americans back in a way on two of their issues, the 25% tariff threat from Donald Trump and the threat of doubling softwood lumber duties on BC wood. Rustad's proposal target 18 million tons of thermal coal, the type of coal that countries like China burn for electricity and heat, that the Americans ship up from Wyoming and Montana into BC before it goes overseas to Asia out of the port in Delta. Here's Rustad today.
So what we are proposing is to put a carbon tax on thermal coal shipments out of Vancouver. That carbon tax would start off relatively small and would scale up over the years, and all of that should then go into a trust as opposed to as a government revenue. With the intent being is to use it, quite frankly, just as our softwood lumber duties are put in place, to use it as leverage to actually get the Americans to the table to do a deal.
So why do Americans ship coal here to our port to go out to China? Well, basically it gets too dirty for Washington and Oregon, where Indigenous groups and governments have banned new export terminals for that. BC threatened to do this actually in the 2017 provincial election. Premier Christy Clark at the time tried to put a levy on it, but neither she nor the current NDP government has followed through. Here's the government's response today.
This is clearly in federal jurisdiction. We've looked at this question in every way. The federal government is looking at dealing with exactly those sorts of thermal coal exports in Canada and the role of thermal coal in Canada. So, well, it's a way, I guess, to distract attention from their lack of position in support of Canada over this trade dispute. It doesn't really have any impact on provincial jurisdiction.
Despite fobbing this off to Ottawa, the idea of adding some type of tariff onto that thermal coal, very much something that could be considered as part of Canada's so-called Team Canada response to the Trump tariffs. Donald Trump today reiterating he expects to bring in that 25% tariff on Canada as early as March the 4th, which is the day of the provincial budget, Stacey. So we will see if that actually happens in this ever-changing scenario and what Canada and BC's response, whether it includes thermal coal, might be.